Hi everyone. In this video you're going to see me squirm. So basically you will witness me struggling with my ego while I'm channeling Prime Creator's warning message. I frankly didn't want to be the messenger for this warning. As you know, I'm not a fear-based person, and so I don't enjoy bringing through messages that may have a tone of fear or, really what Prime Creator is giving us as a heads up. But there's a potential when people hear this to go into fear, and I'm not about that. So when I channel, I make a commitment. I will not filter the energy. I will not filter the message that comes through. And so you're seeing me wanting to filter it, and in my ego, not wanting to also taint the message with any of my feelings or opinions about things. So as with every channeling video, I invite you to tune in to your own guidance, your own discernment, so that you can decide for yourself if this resonates with your heart, if this resonates with your soul. And keep in mind also that as I channel, there are timelines that are always changing. So what came through today is relevant for the moment in which it came through, and things can always change through what we decide and what we create. And that's also very empowering. You'll also see I left in all of the pauses in this part of the transmission where Prime Creator is giving the warning, because I wanted you to be able to see in my vulnerability the struggle that I was having bringing through the message. Oftentimes I will edit out the pauses because it just gets, monotonous if you're viewing all of the pauses. But I wanted to leave that in there so that you can see that this was indeed a struggle for me to bring through this message. I'm still human. I'm still working through things such as caring what people think about me, and will I be painted in a certain light if I bring through certain messages and things of that nature. So I'm working through my own fears and insecurities around that, and you're going to see that in today's video. So enjoy, and again, use your discernment and your resonance to feel into whether or not this message is for you. Thanks for joining this video. Thank you everyone for joining this channeling video. It'll be interesting to see what Prime Creator has to say about November. I almost changed the date to do a channeling a little closer to November because I feel like things are changing so quickly. But I do sort of feel a main timeline emerging instead of a whole bunch of smaller timelines. It's really hard to put words to what I'm feeling sometimes with these timelines. It feels like there's a bunch of different timelines, but then there's maybe one more solid one that's emerging. That's the best way I can describe it. So we'll see what Prime Creator has to say, and thanks again for joining. At the time of this message, dear ones, while we are not complete with your month of October 2020, there are still more events, more announcements, more disclosure, if you will, that will be coming forth, specifically regarding politics, things that have happened within your government in the past 100 years or so. I would invite you, dear ones, to remain flexible in your minds and to remain open in your hearts. For while in many ways the story has already been written, the truth of the story has not yet been fully revealed. And some of these truths may not make sense to some of you. And this is why I encourage you to remain flexible within your hearts, flexible within your minds, to stay open. As we move into your month of November 2020. While many are praying and hoping for a smooth transition, there is a large potential for chaos to continue. Because many humans have decided to take very solid stands at each end of your polarity spectrum, especially regarding politics. Now I am speaking. Those who are not on the winning side of the election may feel outrage, confusion, doubt, fear, normal human reactions to things that they do not understand. It is a tender time for humanity. It is fragile in the sense that humans have not yet stepped into their full power and understood their role within the matrix and their role without the matrix. They have not yet fully embodied what it means to be creators. And so in these times of uncertainty, they are not sure how to navigate using their powers as creators, because they are not sure what they are creating. They think they know what they want, but many do not truly. And I do not mean to speak of humans in disparaging ways. I love you all, dear ones. I am simply sharing the overall energy of the collective that has not yet stepped into maturity. And this is why there is much overwhelm, confusion, fear. And at the same time, many are also awakening. Many are beginning to see the truth of the matrix, the bondage that the matrix systems have created, and also how to claim and embody sovereignty within the matrix hologram. I am speaking of all of this now because these are the times that we are in. These are the times where you have a very ripe opportunity to awaken from the bondage that you have felt, to claim your sovereignty from the imprisonment that you have felt on this planet. In truth, you have always had this sovereignty, but there is now greater energy and momentum behind your ability to embody and claim sovereignty. There is greater energy and momentum to create safety. And it is very important that you come together with others who are wanting to transcend the matrix so that you can support each other so that you can amplify love, so that you can feel safer in your abilities to move outside of the matrix systems. Dear ones, this channel does not want to speak about this, but this is a very important message, and so she has agreed to be the voice. Give me a moment with this channel, please, dear ones. Dear ones, at this time, if you do not take courage and stand up for your freedoms, there is a very good chance that they will all be lost. While many speak that love has already won, and in a way, yes, this is true, you as humans also have a responsibility to create what you want on this planet. And the way to do this now is to be sure that you maintain your freedoms. To be in your choice. If you want to wear a mask, wear it. If you do not want to, then don't. If you want to take a vaccine or a flu shot, take it. If you do not want it, then don't. You must claim your choice. You must embody your choice. You must be the choice. It is not up to somebody else to stand in your freedom for you. It is up for you to make the choice, to embody it, to take the action that reflects what you want to see on your planet Earth. In the United States, you have what you call an election. You have a choice between two people, mainly. One choice will help you maintain your freedom. The other choice will lead into a very dark place where your freedoms will be stripped from you. I ask you to remember, dear ones, that the divine can work through anyone if they allow it. even if the choice is not always conscious. It is the same with the shadow. The shadow, the dark, can work through anyone if they allow it, even if the choice is not always conscious. It is imperative now, dear ones, that you use all of your senses. Use all of your abilities to discern, to gain awareness, to look behind the veil. Because what is being shown to you through your mainstream news outlets is very often not portraying the truth. So as you approach your month of November, remember, dear ones, that you as humans are the ones that are creating your reality on planet Earth. If you do not understand which side to choose, I would say to you, dear ones, stand in prayer for your freedoms and for the best and highest outcome. If you do not feel comfortable casting a vote in either direction, and even if you are not in the United States, you are casting votes with your energy. Remember this, dear ones. If you do not feel comfortable casting votes in either direction, then cast your vote for truth and freedom to prevail. If you are confused about which candidate stands for truth and freedom, then cast your energetic vote for truth and freedom to prevail, for love to prevail. Why did I bring such a warning through this channel, dear ones? It is because you are at a point, you might call it a tipping point, but it is a point where if you go past, the return is much more challenging. But if you claim your freedoms now, it will be much easier to retain them. Dear ones, the energy forecast for November. It is up to you, dear ones. Yes, the light support will still be on your planet, within your planet. But the light coming to your planet will not be in the same force or same energetic impact, because it is now up to you as humans. You must embody and integrate this light or not. The external energies have done what they can do to support. It is now being handed to you as humans on planet Earth. What will you do, dear ones, with the light that has been coming to you? And so, yes, the energies will feel very different. This is not to say that you won't have external support. Indeed, those of you who have chosen to embody and integrate the light and to work with the light will receive very much support indeed. But it will feel very different for those of you who feel these things.
End of November is a moon eclipse. Is there any significance with that one?
This one, dear ones, is to close out old cycles, to finish, to bring to completion old ways of being. Because there is potential for significant chaos in November, this is your opportunity as humans to say, we are complete with what has been. We are complete with the lies. We are complete with the control. We are complete with the old paradigm. We are complete with the way things have been. We are ready to create something new on this planet. This is the attitude I would suggest that you take, dear ones, as you work with these energies of this eclipse.
I have a question about protecting your energy when, say, you don't want to wear a mask, but you get, if you're very empathetic, you feel all these people looking at you and kind of, you feel their anger. Is there a specific technique you can do to protect your energy field from that?
There are several things, dear one. The first is to remain with your own energy. This channel, and I have talked about this several times, this channel has spoken of this many times, to work with remaining with your energy and not tuning into the energies of others. This is a discipline and a practice, dear one. The other is to work with embodying compassion for those that look at you with anger or hate or confusion, to have compassion for them, that they are not understanding your choice, that perhaps that they are in fear, or perhaps they think they know what is right, even if they are not feeling fearful. And to also work with the idea of transcending polarity, because in this situation, you are choosing one end of the polarity spectrum, and those that are looking at you are choosing the other end. And so keep in mind that you are providing the balance by being on the other end of the spectrum. Because at this time, there is not always an exact middle point, except with your energy. There is not necessarily an action that lands on that middle path point. And so you are claiming one end of the spectrum, and in doing so, you are providing a balance. Imagine a scales, an old-fashioned scales, where there is a bar that goes across the top and two plates on either end. And if you place something on one plate, it will go down and the other end will go up. So by you choosing not to wear a mask, you are stepping on the other plate and balancing out the scales. You are balancing the polarity.
Prime Creator, can you give us an explanation about walk-ins? Is it true that some of the souls are walk-ins, and if so, how much of them took on their shoulders all spiritual contracts of previous souls before they switching places with them? What is the purpose of walk-ins?
There are varying degrees of walk-ins, dear ones. Some souls completely take over the body that another soul had inhabited. Some souls come into a body and join with another soul already there. In some cases, some soul aspects merge with a body and soul that is already intact. And so there are varying degrees and levels to this walk-in phenomenon. The purpose depends upon what degree of walk-in is experienced. In the case where one soul switches places with another soul in a physical body, it is generally because the first soul was complete, but the body was still willing to continue. And so another soul comes into that body. In a situation where a soul joins with another soul and body, it is for that body and soul to receive extra support or extra information because each soul has different energy signatures, different codes, different information that it carries from lifetime to lifetime, from body to body. And so when another soul joins in with a body and soul that are already intact, more information, and in some cases more support, is given. This is a rare scenario, but it does occur from time to time. In a situation where some soul aspects are joining up with a body and soul that are already intact, this is mostly for the body to receive extra support and information, and for the soul to receive, the soul that is already in the body to receive a bit of extra support, extra energy.
Is there always an agreement between those two souls that the walk-in takes over in that life for the other one?
Yes, dear one, there is always an agreement. It does not happen by force. There is always an agreement at the soul level and sometimes at the human level as well.
I wanted to ask about the topic of the president candidates, and yeah, I'm not really involved, I think, in this, but I'm curious to know which candidate will bring a good future and which candidate will bring a bad future.
The one that will help maintain your freedoms is your current President Trump. the one that will serve the dark, and you may see your freedoms disappear, is the candidate Biden. I will share an analogy that may be helpful for some. You have heard of the frog in the pot being slowly brought to a boil. If you throw a frog into a boiling pot, it will scramble and try to escape. If you put a frog in cold water and slowly bring it to a boil, you will cook it. This is what has been happening with humanity, with your systems of government, not just in the United States, but around the world. This is why many do not see what has been happening, because it has been a long-range plan that has occurred over time, over many, many generations. Slowly, new things are implemented, new things are tried to see how humanity will respond. I will say, dear ones, using this analogy, it is very important to get out of the pot.
How is the chance that Mr. Trump gets again president?
There is a strong timeline for him to be re-elected president. But the issue is not complete if this is the outcome. There could still be chaos for a while as there are plans to disrupt this process. The shadow forces are, yes, they are running out of options, they are running out of moves, but they still have plans to attempt to disrupt any positive thing that is happening.
I had a dream on Friday morning, October the 2nd. There was some construction going on with like cubic rooms, something like when they built pueblos. Something collapsed, and that started a total collapse. Then I saw a big gap in it, like the Grand Canyon. The pieces on the bottom fell into an opening where I saw rooftops with people on it. I fell down there too, I don't know, with the debris or by myself. I was with someone and we looked for a way to get up again. Then I was alone, looking around and wanted to ask some people where the way is to go up. I saw some staircases, but I didn't go up. At the end of one hallway, there was a room with soldiers, and I turned around. Then the other person I was with showed up in some kind of a bubble and said something how I would get up again. Then I was up in a place or town and wanted to ask people where I was, what is the date, what is the name of the place. That was a dream.
This dream is very significant, dear one. You were moving through many realities, many dimensions. It is representative of what is occurring within humanity at this time. They are moving through different dimensions, different realities. In some ways, experimenting with being in different dimensions and realities to see what it is like before they make their decision before they make their choice. So this dream is not so much relevant to your own personal life exactly, but more relevant to what the collective reality is experiencing and experimenting with.
This always happens right before we're going to be with you, Prime Creator. I always have some sort of a sighting or thing a few days before. Yesterday, this was very odd. I was out on my back porch and I saw I've never seen this before. It was a very teeny tiny, very small, white circular thing. And it was maybe half the size of my pinky nail. It was circular and it was whitish, and it floated near me. And my first thought was, is this a fairy in an orb form? But it didn't really look plasma like orbs did. And then I thought, well, maybe it's a very teeny tiny fly and the wings are going so fast, it looks like it's in a circle. So I said hello to it and I put my hand out and it quickly went away. And then I have spearmint, and it went to the spearmint and it was in and out of the leaves and then it flew off. But it was totally circular. And I wasn't sure if it was a tiny fly or it was an orb. What was it? Thank you.
Yes, dear one, I am attempting to give words to this channel because it was neither a fly nor an orb, nor a fairy. It is an aspect of your soul family, a way for them to say hello to you in physical form, in somewhat physical form, a way for them to come up close to you, but the frequency cannot land in your hand, or it would destroy them. It is, in some sense, a piece of DNA that was sent to you an encapsulation of DNA.
Was there a message? And my soul family, is it galactic or just in general?
Yes, your star family, dear one. Galactic in nature, yes. The message is they are working with you, activating you, bringing you new energetic signatures through their pure DNA. While you have some of their DNA in human form, they were bringing it to you in more pure form that was not yet embodied by humans. This is not something this channel is familiar with, so it is more challenging for her to find the right words to use, dear one.
I want to know about Corona and the situation. I think now what is happening is a second wave, and I want to know how probable is it that there's a third wave, and how much how much weeks are we before we get the peak in Germany? Because we have usually high infections, but no deaths. In this case, we have no higher deaths than 2019. But yeah, I want to know when is the maximum of the infections of the second wave in Germany, and when will it be?
There will be a third wave if the government officials and shadow forces continue to create the narrative. There is a second wave in some cases, in some places, because the narrative has continued. I'm not saying that this is not something that is causing sickness for people, but it is not what is being told to you through the mainstream media narrative. This is what I mean by the narrative, dear ones.
When will be the peak in Germany of the second wave? In how many weeks are there to go to the peak?
About 3 weeks, dear one. Dear ones, we will conclude this transmission with an invitation once more to open your hearts and your minds to not get attached to any particular versions of reality, but to move into what you are creating. Now, this may sound a bit contradictory, but what I am saying is to not get attached to what you have seen on this planet so far, but to move into the infinite possibilities you have as creators and to bring more focus to this. The old paradigm indeed is coming to an end. And so it is very important that you are poised and in position to harness and embody your powers as creators and to create what is in your heart. When you are in your heart and when you are creating from this place and this space, you can magnify to you, attract unto yourself those that are like-hearted, and together amplify your creations of the light to birth a new reality on this planet, to build the new paradigm together. The new paradigm is, by its very nature, a collaboration of each of you with more intention, meaning you are always co-creating, you are always collaborating in your creations, but often and many times it is subconscious. You do not realize that you are even creating. The new paradigm is conscious creation, where you heal yourself, drop into your heart, and live and move and create from that place, from your soul desires, from your heart desires. I thank you, dear ones. Well, I have to say it. I'm the messenger. I don't necessarily endorse every message that comes through me. I always evaluate it for myself. And I invite you to do the same, to take everything that you have heard in this video today into your heart, into your soul, take it in with all of your senses and evaluate it, use your own discernment. Obviously, you could see my discomfort, probably. I don't know what you could see. When Prime Creator was talking about politics, that is not my favorite topic to talk about because it is so highly polarizing and I'm just not into being in that polarity. But I did think it was interesting what Prime Creator said about balancing the scales when you do choose a side in polarity. So again, use your discernment, take everything that came through with, take it through into your heart and evaluate it that way. And thanks for tuning in. And also, take a look at creationtemple.com if you haven't been there in a while. It may be a brand new site by the time you see this video. Lots easier to use, lots easier to navigate. You'll see on there over 4 years of content to help you on your spiritual path. I mean, seriously, you guys, this is a library full of activations, meditations, teachings, everything you need to help you understand and navigate the spiritual path and to be successful and to thrive in the spiritual path. So go to creationtemple.com, subscribe, and start working with the content there. It's very powerful. That's going to help you move into the new paradigm as we co-create together. So thanks again for tuning in.